What if I was to tell you that we as women are conditioned to believe that giving birth is painful and traumatic and difficult? What would you say to that? What would you say if I said to you right now that giving birth actually isn't painful and isn't traumatic and doesn't have to be difficult? Well, in this 5-part series, I'm going to share 5 tips that help me to have an amazing birth experience that I want the same for you. And in this video, part 1, I'm going to share one amazing tip that I used to prepare myself for my birth, so that when it came to that special day, I was prepared, I was empowered, and I was ready to go. I've created this series because I feel that it's so important that more women, more pregnant women like you hear these kind of stories, so that you don't miss out on having the most beautiful experience when it comes to giving birth. You're entitled to it. Your body is made to give birth. And so I want to inspire you to follow these tips and follow me on this journey in this 5-part series, so that you can have an amazing, memorable experience of giving birth to your baby, and you can look back and just share your amazing story because you followed these tips and you took it seriously. Because at the end of the day, one of the pitfalls us women go through is that we do not prepare for the birth of our babies. Now, we wouldn't enter a marathon and then not prepare and train ourselves for the marathon, would we? We wouldn't just show up with no preparation at all and no fitness preparation at all and just hope to win the marathon, right? Well, it comes the same way with birth. We need to prepare ourselves for the journey, for the experience, so that we don't fall into the pitfall of believing that giving birth is painful. I can really reassure you, it doesn't have to be painful. Now, let me share this one tip in this 5-part series. And make sure you stick along to the whole part of this series that I'm going to be releasing every single week, because I'm going to give you a bonus tip at the end that will remove, wait for it, remove the biggest trap we fall into that causes us to have a painful and traumatic birth. And that is having the fear of giving birth in the first place. I've got an amazing yet simple tool and tip that you can use to remove your fear of giving birth. Now, let me go into the first tip, because I'm sure you want to know what it is. It's very juicy and very simple. So the first tip that I want you to do as you prepare for the birth of your beautiful baby is to use affirmations. Now, what are affirmations? Affirmations are words and phrases that we use to mitigate any limiting beliefs, any negative emotions and feelings we have towards the idea of this topic, in particular, giving birth. So how did I use affirmations? I use affirmations by replacing the fear and the worries that I had and the negative emotions I had about giving birth, and changing the words and the phrases that I used around giving birth. So say, for example, but before I started using affirmations, there used to be a part of me that was fearful and worried about my experience and when that day came of giving birth. So I would think thoughts like, it's going to be painful, oh my gosh, this is going to be scary. So I was actually using affirmations in that way, but in a negative way. We're using affirmations all the time, but in a negative way. We're saying to ourselves, and we're listening to the negative stories about giving birth, and we're reaffirming to ourselves that yes, giving birth is painful and it's a given. But how I use affirmations is that I retrain myself to change those words, those negative thoughts, those negative feelings, and by saying to myself empowering and useful phrases such as, I can do this, giving birth is a natural part of a woman's body, I can do this, I can give birth naturally and peacefully. And I just put these affirmations around my house. I even put them in the hospital ward with me, in the room with me, on the wall, so that as I was going through the process of giving birth, I could look at the affirmations, and they instantly, what happens when you use the affirmations, they instantly put you in a place of calm. Because what's important is that when you're giving birth, you need to remain as relaxed as possible. Because if we don't do that, then our body goes into panic mode instead. and we go into what's called fight or flight mode. And when we do that, we're telling our brains that we're in danger, and our body instantly triggers the pain mechanism in our brain and says, oh my gosh, it's really painful, here's pain, you need to act on it, you need to fight back or flight. And we don't want that, because that's where the pain erupts, and that's where it really gets messy and difficult for us during labor. So when we use these affirmations, they're so powerful. We use them and we keep saying to ourselves, you can say to yourself out loud as incantations or in your head, and just choose some positive phrases. I'll leave some phrases below that you can use, and you can pick them or make your own ones up. But you can use phrases that will inspire you to think more positively about you giving birth. So you can say simple phrases like, I can and I will, and my baby is the right size for me to give birth, and my body is strong, my body is powerful, and I am beautiful, and I can give birth powerfully and peacefully. You want to use these positive affirmations whilst you're pregnant and repeat it to yourself often, so that you start to believe it and your brain starts to take in that information, so that when it comes to that day, where you go into labor, you are already in that state of self-belief that you are safe, that you are strong, and that you can give birth peacefully. That will then channel your body to remain relaxed. It will release all the natural endorphins and natural pain relief that you need to have a pain-free birth. So that is a powerful tip that I want you to use right now. So leave in the comments below and say hell yes if you're going to use these affirmations. Go on Canva or go on PicMonkey, create some affirmations, some of your favorite. Like I said, I'll leave some affirmations below in the description to inspire you. Leave them on your fridge door, on your kitchen cabinet, in the bathroom. Leave some affirmations everywhere, so that when you're walking around your house, you can see them, and it will make you instantly feel good about your birth. Because what we want to do is we want to reframe our story, our limiting belief, our fears and worries that giving birth is painful. And one powerful way to do that is through affirmations. And the reason why I've created and separated these tips into a 5-part series is because each one is so powerful that they deserve their own video. They're so good that they deserve their own video. I used all of them during my pregnancy to prepare myself for that marathon, that special day of giving birth, and I used them when I was in labor, and it really gave me the best experience, and I want you to have that best experience as well. Now, I'm not just saying this, I'm not just saying I had an amazing birth and then I didn't really. I'm actually going to leave you with my birth story here, so you should be able to click on it and you can access that video, and I want you to watch it. I want you to watch it and see how I had an amazing, peaceful birth. Now, you must do these 5 tips that I'm going to release to you. Tip number 2 will come out next week, and I really want you to use them. Really prepare yourself for giving birth. Don't just take in and be vulnerable to the idea that giving birth has to be totally painful and scary, because it doesn't. And this isn't wishy-washy, this is actually true stuff. But you need to prepare and be willing to prepare for your birth. And it's actually really fun. You actually start to enjoy your pregnancy even more if you do this. Anyway, so I'll leave the videos here. I've also got other video series on breastfeeding if you really want to breastfeed after your baby comes, which I absolutely encourage. It's a beautiful experience. I've got some amazing breastfeeding tips on there that you can check out, so I'll leave those there for you to click on. Definitely subscribe so that you can stay up to date with the video series. I'm going to release, like I said in the next video, a powerful tool that I use to envision my birth that allowed me to really prepare and create a vision for my birth, and it did come true. So this is a powerful tool that I'm going to share with you next week. So subscribe, click on the bell so that you get a notification or when the video is out. It's going to be super. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below, and just know that I'm here with you. I'm here to support you, so I will answer your questions. Don't hesitate. And thank you for tuning in. Leave a thumbs up if you're liking this video and you're going to use the affirmations tools that I've just shared with you right now. Go and do it. Do it. It's super powerful. And I will see you next week for tip number 2. Mwah.